Hey, welcome to Digging into the Bible. My name is Jim Barnard. This is a production of Taylor Coaching. All right, we made it 2 weeks. Thanks for joining me on day 14. We are continuing to dig into Matthew chapter 6. Obviously, still in the Sermon on the Mount, and specifically today, we are hearing more of Jesus calling out the hypocrites. He seems to have a particular disdain for hypocritical action, and I think Jesus is very clear that this is not good for us, that it doesn't benefit us in any kind of permanent way, and that it's damaging. And so I appreciate that Jesus is so urgent with calling this out. I just want to be straight up honest with you. I've been a hypocrite before. I can't think of a particular example, but I'm not trying to keep anything from you. I just really can't think of anything. But I know that I've been a hypocrite before. You know what else I know? I know that you've been a hypocrite before. Not trying to call you out particularly, but like it's part of our human narrative. We have this strong, intense desire to impress others, and with that comes a certain level of hypocriticalness. You know, in coaching, I coach a lot of guys, and occasionally I will see hypocriticalness or pride bubble up, and I want to be just as urgent as Jesus is here to call it out. And I'm a big believer that when we come before the Lord, it's really good to choose a posture with which we come to Him with. And when these guys are struggling with something like this, I will suggest a particular posture, and I call it this. The posture is, sit down, be humble. Now, my apologies to Kendrick Lamar, but I just love the phrase of that. I love the thought of like taking yourself down a notch and getting yourself humble in your heart and your mind and in your soul, and just you're really coming before the Lord and trying to seek Him and see Him for all who He is. It's easy for us to get out of whack with humility and into pride and hypocriticalness. And I could go on for 15 minutes about this topic, but man, I've got less than 3 minutes left, so I better hurry up and get to this. So let's go ahead and dig into Matthew chapter 6, starting at verse 16. And when you fast, do not look gloomy like the hypocrites, for they disfigure their faces, that their fasting may be seen by others. Truly I say to you, they have received their reward. But when you fast, anoint your head and wash your face, that your fasting may not be seen by others, but by your Father who is in secret. And your Father who sees in secret will reward you. Do not lay up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust destroys, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. The eye is the lamp of the body, so if your eye is healthy, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eye is bad, your whole body will be full of darkness. If then the light in you is darkness, how great is the darkness? No one can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and money. I don't know if you've noticed this, but in these first 3 sections where Jesus is calling out hypocriticalness, the section of giving to the needy, of praying, of fasting, which fasting's a weird one. Like, oh, look at me, look how good I am at not eating. Wow. It's a weird thing to brag about. But anyways, back to the point. Like in all 3 of those sections, he's also not just calling out the hypocriticalness, he's also calling out the reward, that the reward with our Father is in secret. And there's no mistake here. This 4th section about laying our treasures up in heaven correlates perfectly with what Jesus is talking about. I think what he is making a point of is that our motivation and our reward are intrinsically connected. Like there's no separating the two. And I'll say it this way, like when I boast, when I'm hypocritical, when I'm prideful, whatever, I'm not talking about the eternal part of me. I believe our souls are eternal, but I'm talking about the temporary me. Like, look at me. And that temporariness, like if that's my motivation, is me and my temporariness, guess what my reward is going to be? Very temporary. But if I can switch my motivation to something or maybe someone who is not temporary, Jesus, maybe our reward will also be eternal and not temporary. And spoiler alert, our reward is also Jesus. Our motivation and our reward is one and the same. So put our focus there. We're going to be talking about focus in a couple days, and I love it so much, but I know I'm over time, but I just need to call it out that if you are swelling with this inside of you, maybe it's a sense of where your motivation is at. And so maybe it's time to sit down and be humble. All right, well, tomorrow we are going to talk about anxiety as we continue and finish Matthew 6. I look forward to seeing you then.